Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in life when everything changes, when the universe rearranges itself in your favor, when the invisible forces of creation align, and when God steps in to shift everything you once knew. This is not by chance, this is divine orchestration. You may have felt stuck, lost in the patterns of the past, but what if I told you that right now in this very moment, something powerful is happening beyond what your senses can perceive? God is moving. He is restructuring your reality, opening doors you never imagined, and leading you into a future greater than you ever envisioned. But here's the question, are you ready? Are you willing to release the old and trust in the unseen? Because when God shifts everything, He requires you to shift as well. Let's dive in. God's timing is precise, the divine shift. Every moment in your life is unfolding according to a higher plan, a divine intelligence that operates beyond human comprehension. When you look back at the pivotal moments that shaped you, you'll realize that nothing happened by accident. The doors that opened, the relationships that entered or exited, the challenges that seemed unbearable, each one was orchestrated with perfect precision. Yet when we are in the middle of uncertainty, we often question the process, trying to force outcomes that are not yet ready. But God does not operate on human schedules. His timing is not dictated by impatience or fear. It is rooted in the perfection of universal order. Imagine a seed buried in the soil. It does not sprout immediately. There's an incubation period of time when everything is happening beneath the surface. The roots must take hold, the conditions must align, and only then does the breakthrough occur. If you were to dig up the seed too soon, you would disrupt the process and prevent it from reaching its full potential. This is exactly how divine timing works. You may feel buried under difficulties, unseen and forgotten, but beneath the surface, a transformation is taking place. The shift is happening even when you cannot perceive it. The human mind craves certainty. It wants to know when, how, and where things will change. But trusting in divine timing requires surrender. It requires you to release the illusion of control and step into a space of faith. Faith is not passive, it is the most active state of being. It is the unwavering belief that what has been set in motion by God will manifest at the right moment. This does not mean you sit back and wait. It means you align yourself with the energy of what is coming. You prepare for it. You become the person who is ready to receive. Because if the shift were to come before you were ready, it would overwhelm you and you would not be able to sustain it. Often delays are not denials, they are divine protections. What you see as a setback may be God rerouting you towards something greater. Think about the moments in your life when you wanted something so badly, but it did not happen on your timeline. Later, when you gained clarity, you realized that the delay was actually a blessing. It refined you, strengthened you, and prepared you for what was to come. The challenge is that in the moment the delay feels like rejection, it feels like silence, but God's silence is not absence. His silence is often a sign that He is working in ways beyond what you can see. Patience is not about waiting, it is about how you wait. Are you waiting in frustration or are you waiting in faith? Are you resisting or are you aligning? Because divine timing does not just require patience, it requires a shift in perception. Instead of seeing the waiting period as wasted time, see it as preparation. See it as a refining process where you are being molded into the version of yourself that can handle the blessing that is coming. There are moments in life when everything seems to accelerate, when the shift happens suddenly. What once seemed impossible begins to align effortlessly. This is the moment when all the unseen work manifests into reality. But that moment does not come out of nowhere. It is the result of everything that happened in the unseen realm before it. The problem is that many people give up too soon. They lose faith just before the breakthrough. They let fear and doubt convince them that nothing is happening, when in reality, the shift is already in motion. Your emotions are a compass in this journey. If you are constantly anxious, doubting, and questioning whether things will change, you are resisting the process. But when you step into trust, when you align your thoughts and emotions with the knowing that divine timing is at work, you enter a state of flow. You begin to see signs, synchronicities, and confirmations that reassure you that you are exactly where you need to be. Doubt creates resistance. Fear blocks the very things you are praying for, but faith dissolves barriers. When you trust in divine timing, you shift from a state of struggle to a state of surrender. And in that surrender, miracles unfold. Let go of the past to embrace the transformation. The human mind is conditioned to hold on to memories, to experiences, to identities that no longer serve its highest potential. But transformation demands release. The more you cling to what was, the harder it becomes to step into what could be. The past carries weight, and that weight slows down the shift that God is orchestrating in your life. If you are constantly looking back, replaying old conversations, regretting missed opportunities, or resenting what happened, you are tethering yourself to a version of reality that no longer exists. The past feels safe because it is familiar. Even when it was painful, even when it did not serve you, it feels known, and the mind craves the comfort of the known. But transformation is about stepping into the unknown, into the vast potential of what has not yet been written. God cannot pour new blessings into hands that are still holding on to old burdens. You must be willing to empty yourself to create space for what is coming, and that requires deep trust. It requires the courage to believe that what is ahead is greater than what is behind. Emotional attachments to the past often manifest as resistance to change. When you hold on to the pain, the disappointment, and the betrayals, you are keeping yourself in a cycle of repetition. The same patterns show up in different forms. The same struggles resurface because the energy of the past is still active in your present. What you do not release, you continue to relive. The subconscious mind stores every experience. And if those experiences are not processed and released, they become filters through which you view your future. You expect what happened before to happen again. You limit yourself based on what you once experienced rather than stepping into what is possible. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It does not mean dismissing what you have been through. It means choosing not to let it define you. It means recognizing that what happened was a chapter, not the entire book. When God is shifting everything in your life, He is calling you to release the expired versions of yourself. The relationships that drained you, the fears that held you back, the doubts that silenced your dreams, these are weights you cannot carry into your next season. There is a reason some people, some situations, and some opportunities are no longer part of your journey. The shift requires space. It requires clarity. You cannot walk into a new reality with the same mindset that created the old one. The past holds not only memories, but also belief systems. Some of those beliefs were shaped by experiences of lack, betrayal, or disappointment. If you carry them into your future, they will shape what you attract. Transformation requires a renewal of the mind. It requires questioning the narratives you have told yourself. The story you repeat about your past determines the energy you bring into your future. If you keep telling yourself that you were always overlooked, that things never work out for you, or that life has been unfair, you are programming your reality to reflect that. But when you shift your perception, when you start seeing the past not as a burden, but as a teacher, everything changes. Healing is a process of release. It is an unlearning of old patterns, a rewiring of thoughts, and a reclaiming of your power. The reason some people struggle to embrace transformation is because they have built their identity around their wounds. They do not know who they are without their pain. But God is not calling you to be a victim of what happened. He is calling you to step into the wholeness of who you were created to be. The past was a lesson, but it is not your destination. The physical world mirrors the internal world. When you hold on to the past mentally and emotionally, your external reality reflects it. You may find yourself stuck in similar situations, attracting the same types of people, or feeling as if no matter how much you desire change, it does not come. That is because transformation begins with internal release. The moment you truly let go, the shift begins. Opportunities arise, doors open, a new version of you emerges, one that is no longer bound by old limitations. Faith is required in this process. Letting go is not always immediate. Sometimes it is a daily practice of choosing not to dwell, not to react from old wounds, and not to define yourself by past circumstances. It is choosing moment by moment to align with the new reality God is bringing into your life. The shift is happening, but it cannot be fully received by a heart and mind still living in the past. Transformation begins the moment you decide to release. Your mindset must align with a new reality. Every transformation begins in the mind before it manifests in the physical world. The way you think, the beliefs you hold, and the emotions you cultivate are shaping your future in ways you may not even realize. If God is shifting everything in your life, but your mindset remains stuck in old patterns, you will resist the very change you have been praying for. The shift requires a new way of thinking, a higher level of consciousness, and a willingness to step into a reality that may feel unfamiliar at first. The mind operates based on conditioning. Every experience, every piece of information, and every repeated thought strengthens neural pathways that determine how you perceive the world. If you have spent years believing that change is difficult, that blessings are rare, or that you are not worthy of success, then even when opportunities arise, you'll subconsciously push them away. You cannot receive what you do not believe you deserve. If your mind is programmed to expect struggle, it will find ways to create it. If your mind is programmed to see lack, it will overlook abundance even when it is right in front of you. God's shift in your life requires you to renew your mind, to rewire old thought patterns that no longer align with where you are going. This is why faith is so powerful. Faith is not just about believing in what you cannot see. It is about thinking from the perspective of the future you desire rather than the limitations of the past. The way you think today determines the reality you step into tomorrow. If you continue to think in the same ways, react in the same ways, and hold on to the same doubts, you will recreate the same experiences. Change starts internally before it shows up externally. The mind thrives on repetition. Whatever you consistently tell yourself becomes your truth. If you wake up every day reinforcing fear, doubt, and limitation, then your reality will reflect those emotions. But if you wake up every day declaring that you are ready for the shift, that you are prepared for new opportunities, and that God is aligning everything for your good, then your brain begins to rewire itself to match that belief. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply follows the patterns you feed it. When you shift your thinking, you shift your entire energetic state, and that shift begins to create new experiences. Most people wait for external changes before they change their mindset. They wait for the breakthrough before they believe in it. They wait for the opportunity before they prepare for it. But that is not how transformation works. You must align your mind with a new reality before it arrives. You must think from the perspective of the person who already has what they desire. If you're waiting to see proof before you believe, then you are operating from doubt rather than faith. Faith requires you to believe before you see. It requires you to think as if the shift has already happened, to act as if you have already stepped into the new season. Your emotions are a key indicator of whether your mindset is aligned with your new reality. If you constantly feel frustrated, anxious, or doubtful, it is a sign that your thoughts are not in alignment with where you are going. Your emotions are not random. They are responses to the thoughts you consistently entertain. When you align your thinking with the new version of yourself, your emotions shift as well. You begin to feel a sense of certainty, peace, and expectancy even before anything changes in the physical world. That emotional shift is what accelerates the manifestation of your new reality. The mind will always try to pull you back into old patterns because it finds comfort in the familiar, even if the familiar is not serving you. This is why awareness is crucial. You must become conscious of your thoughts, questioning whether they are aligned with where you are going or if they are pulling you back to where you have been. The moment you recognize a thought that does not serve your future, you have the power to replace it with a new one. You have the power to train your mind to think differently, to respond differently, and to expect differently. God is shifting everything in your life, but He is also requiring you to take responsibility for your part in the process. Your mindset is your responsibility. Your thoughts are within your control. No one else can shift them for you. The moment you align your thinking with the reality you desire, you begin to attract the very things that match that frequency. You start to notice opportunities that were always there but were previously invisible to you. You begin to take actions that align with your vision rather than your fears. The mind is the bridge between where you are and where you are going. Transformation is inevitable when your mindset is in alignment with the shift. Faith and trust are required for the shift. When God is about to shift everything in your life, it will not always make sense. It may not look the way you expected. The path may seem uncertain and the process may feel uncomfortable. But transformation is not about comfort, it is about alignment. Faith is the ability to trust in what you cannot yet see, to walk forward even when you do not have all the answers. Trust is the willingness to surrender control and believe that what is unfolding is happening for your highest good. The human mind seeks certainty. It wants to know the outcome before it takes the step. It wants to see the full picture before it commits to the journey. But that is not how faith works. Faith is stepping out even when the next step is unclear. It is believing that God is orchestrating things in ways beyond your understanding. When you trust the process, you release the need to force outcomes. You stop trying to manipulate circumstances and instead allow things to unfold in divine timing. Trust requires patience. The shift does not always happen overnight. Sometimes it unfolds in stages. Sometimes it requires a season of waiting, a season where nothing seems to be changing on the surface. This is where most people give up. They mistake delay for denial. They assume that because they cannot see the shift happening, it is not happening at all. But just because something is not visible does not mean it is not in motion. Seeds grow beneath the soil long before they break through the surface. The work is happening in the unseen. Doubt is the enemy of faith. It creeps in when things do not happen on your timeline. It whispers that maybe things will not work out, that maybe you misheard God, that maybe you are not worthy of the shift. But doubt is a distraction. It keeps you focused on what is missing instead of what is manifesting. Every time you entertain doubt, you are delaying the shift. Faith must be stronger than fear. Trust must be greater than worry. Many people pray for change but resist the process of transformation. They want the shift, but they do not want the uncertainty that comes with it. They want new doors to open, but they hesitate to walk away from the old ones. Trust means letting go of what no longer serves you even before the new thing arrives. It means believing that God's plan is better than your plan. Control is an illusion. No matter how much you plan, analyze, or try to predict the future, there will always be variables outside of your control. The only thing you can control is your response. You can choose to trust or you can choose to fear. You can choose to align with faith or you can choose to worry about the unknown. But worrying does not change the outcome. It only drains your energy and keeps you stuck in a cycle of doubt. Faith does not mean passively waiting. It means taking aligned action while trusting the process. It means showing up, preparing, and positioning yourself for what is coming. You do not wait until you see the door to start walking. You move forward in expectation, knowing that the door will appear at the right time. The shift may require you to step into places that feel unfamiliar. It may lead you to opportunities that challenge your comfort zone. But faith is not about staying where it is safe. It is about expanding beyond what you thought was possible. When God shifts everything, He is calling you into something greater. That greatness requires trust, surrender, and the willingness to believe that everything is working together for your good. Your actions must align with your faith. It is not enough to believe that God is shifting everything in your life. You must also take action in alignment with that belief. Many people pray for change, yet their daily actions reflect doubt, fear, and hesitation. They ask for new opportunities, but continue to operate from old patterns. They desire breakthrough, but fail to prepare for it. Faith is not just a mindset, it is a practice. It is demonstrated through the choices you make, the risks you take, and the steps you are willing to move forward with, even when there is no visible guarantee of success. When God is shifting everything, there will be moments when you are called to act before you see the full picture. You may be required to step into the unknown, to make a move when logic tells you to wait, to walk away from something familiar without yet knowing what will replace it. This is where most people hesitate. They wait for clarity before they move. They wait for confirmation before they commit. But the shift does not happen in the waiting, it happens in the action. When you move in faith, you send a signal to the universe that you are ready for what is coming. You demonstrate that you trust the process, that you are willing to align yourself with the transformation that is unfolding. There is a difference between wanting change and being ready for it. Wanting is passive, readiness is active. Many people say they want to step into a new season, yet their actions reveal they are still attached to the old one. They hold on to past relationships, past habits, past fears, all while asking for something new. But you cannot receive what you are not prepared to hold. If you are asking for abundance, but your actions reflect a scarcity mindset, you are not in alignment. If you are asking for new opportunities, but you are unwilling to step outside your comfort zone, you are not in alignment. The shift requires you to move differently, to think differently, to show up differently. Preparation is a form of faith. When you truly believe that something is coming, you start preparing for it before it arrives. If you believe that God is opening a new door, you start positioning yourself for the opportunity. If you believe that expansion is coming, you start making room for it. You do not wait until the blessing appears to get ready. You get ready because you trust that it is already on its way. This is why some people experience rapid breakthroughs while others remain stuck, because preparation speeds up manifestation. The moment your actions reflect your faith, you accelerate the process. Fear will try to hold you back. It will tell you to wait until you are sure, to stay where it feels safe, to avoid taking risks. But fear is the greatest barrier to transformation. It convinces you to settle for less, to delay your destiny, to second guess what you know in your spirit. Faith requires you to move despite fear. It requires you to take action even when the outcome is uncertain. The people who step into their divine purpose are not the ones who never feel fear. They are the ones who refuse to let fear control their actions. The shift requires obedience. There will be moments when you are called to do something that does not make sense to your logical mind. You may feel led to leave a situation, to take a leap of faith, to make a decision that seems unconventional. Obedience is trusting that God sees the bigger picture, that He is guiding you towards something greater. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. If you know in your heart that you are being called to move, yet you continue to hesitate, you are resisting the shift that is meant for you. Everything in life is energy. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions all carry a frequency. If you are constantly in a state of doubt, hesitation, or indecision, you are emitting a signal of resistance. But when you move in faith, when you act with certainty, when you make decisions that align with your higher self, you raise your frequency to match the reality you desire. This is why breakthroughs often come to those who are bold enough to act. The more you align your actions with faith, the faster the shift occurs. You must release old habits that no longer serve you. If your daily routines are reinforcing old patterns, they are keeping you in the same reality. You cannot create a new future while repeating the same behaviors that built your past. Every action you take is either moving you toward or away from the shift. Every decision, every habit, every routine must align with the new season you are stepping into. The people who experience transformation are the ones who are willing to discipline themselves, to change their habits, to take the necessary steps that reflect their faith. The shift is not just about waiting for something to happen, it is about becoming the version of yourself who is ready to receive it. Every small action, every moment of faith, every step you take is positioning you for what is coming. The question is not whether God is shifting everything in your life, the question is whether your actions are aligned with that shift. There will be resistance before the shift. When God is about to shift everything in your life, you will face challenges that test your faith. endurance, and commitment to the process. Resistance is not a sign that things are going wrong. It is a sign that transformation is happening. Every breakthrough is preceded by opposition. Every elevation is met with obstacles. The closer you get to stepping into a new season, the more intense the resistance will feel. This is where many people lose faith, believing that the struggle means they are on the wrong path. But the truth is, the resistance is an indication that the shift is near. Resistance can come in many forms. It may appear as doubt creeping into your mind, making you question whether you are truly ready for what is coming. It may manifest as fear, convincing you that you are not worthy or capable of handling the next level. It may show up in the form of unexpected setbacks, delays, or conflicts that try to pull you back into old patterns. These challenges are not meant to break you. They are meant to prepare you. Every obstacle is an opportunity to strengthen your faith, to refine your mindset, and to build the resilience necessary for what is ahead. Many people mistake resistance for rejection. They assume that because doors are not opening immediately, it means that the opportunity is not meant for them. But sometimes the delay is part of the process. It is a test to see if you will remain committed, even when things do not happen on your timeline. It is a way of stretching your faith, making sure that you are not just hoping for change, but truly believing in it. Faith is not proven when everything is easy. It is proven when you continue to believe despite the difficulties. There will be moments when you feel the weight of resistance pressing down on you. You may feel like giving up, like retreating back to what is familiar. This is when you must remind yourself that resistance is not the end of the journey, it is part of the journey. The moments when you feel the most pressure are often the moments right before the shift happens. Just like a seed must push through the soil before it reaches the surface, you must push through the resistance to step into your breakthrough. Your mindset in times of resistance determines whether you move forward or stay stuck. If you allow obstacles to discourage you, you will remain in the same place. But if you choose to see resistance as a sign of growth, you will continue to move forward. Your response to challenges determines how quickly you step into shift. If you allow fear, doubt, or frustration to consume you, you delay the process. But if you choose to stand firm in your faith, knowing that everything is working together for your good, you align yourself with the transformation that is unfolding. People around you may not understand the shift that is happening in your life. When you begin to grow, when you start stepping into a new version of yourself, there will be those who try to pull you back into old ways of thinking, old habits, and old environments. Not everyone is meant to go where God is taking you. Sometimes resistance comes in the form of relationships that no longer align with your purpose. You must be willing to let go of anything and anyone that is keeping you from stepping fully into what God has for you. The shift will require you to let go of comfort. It will require you to embrace uncertainty, to move forward even when you do not have all the answers. Comfort zones may feel safe, but they are also the places where dreams go to die. Nothing great is birthed in comfort. The transformation you are seeking requires discomfort, challenges, and moments of uncertainty. The resistance you are facing is not there to stop you, it is there to strengthen you. Every challenge you face is shaping you for what is coming. The process is refining you, making you stronger, wiser, more prepared for the next season. If you were given the blessing before you were ready, you would not be able to sustain it. The resistance is part of your preparation. It is shaping you into the person who is capable of handling the shift that is about to take place. God is not testing you to punish you. He is testing you to prepare you. Every struggle is strengthening your faith. Every delay is building your patience. Every obstacle is increasing your resilience. If you can endure the resistance, you will step into everything that has been prepared for you. The key is to keep moving forward, to remain steadfast, and to trust that the shift is happening even when you cannot yet see it.